Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where a discussion was had in my comments section on the merits of religious versus cultural assimilation. And overall, I did some investigation and I'd kind of like to go over what I discovered. I did put it in the comments section, but it's not in this video, obviously. It's in, I think, the last video, but I'll just go over what I've discovered here real quick. So, obviously, there is a cultural component to religious conversion, and there is a religious component to cultural assimilation. I just hadn't looked too closely at it to determine which was the most efficient for what we're doing, and to some degree that's going to change from province to province, based on whether they're the correct culture or not. Now, if we come over here where we've got a situation like this, where we barely have any Iberian, or we barely have any Punics in here, we can go into View Pop Info, and we can take a look at these speeds. So, we're currently losing 33% because we are not Canaanite religion, and that's in our cultural assimilation. But we're also losing an additional 10% because the dominant religion of this, I believe this is province? Or actually, no, this is in this settlement. Okay, so the dominant religion in this settlement is not the state religion. So that's giving us another 10% malice. Now, we've also got dominant culture is not integrated culture, but I'm not factoring that in here because that is a cultural effect of cultural assimilation. The only thing that we're interested in is which one of these to focus. So when it affects itself like that, we don't actually care. For the religious conversion, we've got minus 25% from dominant religion not being the state religion. That's discounted for the same reason as the dominant culture not being integrated. Dominant culture not being integrated culture, on the other hand, that does be counted, so that's a 10% malice, and non-integrated culture is another one, which is another 20% malice. So overall, we've got a 43% religious malice on cultural assimilation here, and we've got a 30% cultural malice on religious conversion. So when we have neither the culture nor the religion, we should do religious first because it is 13% more efficient. Now, I don't think this is tremendously impactful, at least not on an individual province level. Over the course of the entire nation and the entire game, this will of course add up to a pretty sizable amount. And in this situation, we're going to start doing religious conversions. Of course, if we're already religiously converted, then the choice is clearly to do cultural assimilation if we're still not happy, right? But that should theoretically go on its own pretty well. So religious conversion is what we're going to be switching to. Now, I'm not going to go through and switch things that are already on cultural conversion, but we are going to, for regions like this that are rebelling, we're going to, once we take them back, go on to religious conversion for them for those reasons from now on. But I do enjoy those types of discussion, so keep them coming, by all means. I always like to find ways to play more efficiently, and I hadn't looked at it, is all that boils down to it. I knew there was a malice on both sides, I just kind of assumed that the malice was relatively even, which it ended up not being. Well, let's just go ahead and build ourselves a few more farming settlements. We have a mission, actually, to build farming settlements in this region over here. So we should probably... Right, that was that one? I want to double check that. Yeah, we need farming settlements in all settlements producing food. So that is these three here. And there's no structure, and no structure. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to put in farming settlements in all three of those, just to get that mission finishing up. Fantastic. And we're also going to build farming settlements wherever we can otherwise, of course. There we go, we'll get a couple more built. Perfect. We're making a lot of money at this point. Now, most of that gain is from conquering Rome. There's no doubt about that. Which, by the way, is eventually going to be a problem, I'm assuming. But yeah, like I said, any additional switching over to integration, we're going to do religious assimilation. We're going to take War Elephant Offense, I think. Yeah, I mean, we should probably start working on our ships. Monthly ship repair at sea, that's nice. I think we're going to finish off our land first, and then we'll focus on our ships. We do, of course, want to be the maritime power in the Mediterranean, and we kind of are at this point. But regardless, I'm actually interested to see what our ally is going to do here besides die horribly. Yeah, it's probably just going to be die horribly, in all honesty. We're going to move these guys up, and we are coming in over there. Let's move over to here instead, and we will head on down. We can colonize, and that's definitely something I'm interested in doing. Wonderful. Head of the Barkid family just died, which of course means that the Bodonids are scorned, and they don't have one that is appropriately skilled. So we're going to put in this guy instead. And we'll just embark these in. And we'll come on down. These guys are not making progress. I am noticing these walking this way. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm not entirely sure what their destination is. They've turned around. They're fleeing from this force. Okay, that's fine. They can do that. So we're going to come siege up here, of course. And that will be absolutely fine. I would still love to colonize this, but unfortunately, we currently can't. And there are a few other regions that we can't colonize that I'd love to. I'd also like to start conquering some of these areas, but for now, I'm more interested in getting these missions done. This is a very extensive mission, actually. Okay, so we need a port territory in Bisatis. Ah, over here. So we need a city status in one of these, and I think it's this one? Yes. So we need to put in a city here. So we'll found a city. There we go. That'll get us another mission in progress. And then Vaga needs to be the capital. That's right. And we couldn't do that while at war. Yeah, Carthage needs to be at peace. So we'll have to do this first. We are, of course, going to land here. And we're going to take the Italian army over here. And we're going to take the African army to siege over here, because they have the siege engineers. We should probably look at whether we can expand either of those. That is definitely something we could do. Oh yeah, we could absolutely expand these. 1,000,000%. Technically not 1,000,000%. But we could expand them by a pretty hefty margin. And that's something I'm going to do after this war. They're suing for peace. We decline. We don't care about their peace. We want to take all of this back. Oh, they're actually going to stack wipe. They're retreating straight into us. That's unfortunate for them. There is this force here that aren't interested. Okay. We could chase them down with these guys, though. That is something we could do. Assuming that they don't get caught by our allies. Which they may or may not. And I'm guessing, yeah, this is just the fort here that's preventing this from auto-capping. Okay, it looks like there's going to be a catch here. We'll head on in, see if we can help out. Not like we need to help out, but we'll, you know, turn up. Yeah, that was pretty irrelevant. I'm not sure where they're retreating to. I'm guessing it's down this way, though. Let's see. Be very interesting to see where they're retreating to. Unfortunately, of course, that's not the way Paradox games work. They may be retreating up to here. And if so, I'm just going to pursue them. We're just going to siege this. And the siege has been won. Perfect. And that should be 100% war score as of now-ish. Just wait for this one. And we'll stack wipe their army, I guess. Actually, we're probably better off to not stack wipe this. Wait, that's a professional legion. We can stack wipe it. If it was a levy, I wouldn't want to stack wipe it. But a professional legion, we can. So we'll take this. Fantastic. And we don't have any AE to lose, but I would still rather have the lesser culture happiness malice. And we are, of course, going to switch these over to religious conversion for the reason that I gave previously. There's a civil war brewing, and also I'm noticing that cultural assimilation is only 0.6, whereas religious is 1.8. So there is that too. So there's a percentage malice, and there's also the 3x increase in religious speed. Okay, well that definitely has an effect on the landscape. Yeah, I was going to do that anyway, but that's huge. Okay, so realistically, this civil war is probably not a problem. Let's go ahead and enlarge our primary legion here. I would like to... I feel like these supply trains, we probably need, like... I need to think about what the food consumption rate is, right? If the unit would be taking attrition, it would use 3.10 food per month. And that's with 10,000 troops. Now, I believe elephants, yeah, the different units have different food consumption types. Rule of thumbs, though, that's what I'm looking for here. Perhaps a good rule of thumb is 2 supply trains per 10,000 units. I'm fairly happy with this. Or per 10,000 troops. Now, is that in addition to the 10,000? Probably. Let's see how that feels. I don't know that I'm going to be super keen on that, but I do want to look at combat widths. Base terrain combat width of 20 in plains. In hills, it's 20 as well. Actually, that might have been hills. Yeah, base terrain combat width in plains is 40. Okay. So it looks like it goes between 20 and 40, mostly. That's good to know. That, of course, means that we want to have our combat width be about 40. If we want to be able to use this in multiple situations. So we should probably have a combat width of, say, 15 for our normal flanks. Or for our normal heavy infantry. Actually, we're targeting 40. So it should be like 30... Maybe like 30. And then have somewhere around 10 heavy cavalry and war elephants. Yeah, that's something we could do. So we would have this be... Let's go ahead and add in some combat width here. Let's take this up to 10 for now. And we would need just that. So that would, of course, put us up to 28 out of 48. I'm fairly content with our 2 units of siege engineers for right now. I feel like our siege speed is acceptable for the moment. That may change. We should probably enlarge our flanks. We'll take that up to, say, 5 plus 5. There we go. And that is about what I want our flanks to be overall. And so now we should enlarge our center again. And let's take that up to, say, 15 and 15. Like so. And then we should definitely have 2 more supply trains, based on the rough rule of thumb that I was talking about. And then beyond that, we can still enlarge our center by 2 more. Okay. So this combat width is, of course, going to be somewhere along the lines of 26 right now. So this is not going to be a full-width army in plains just yet, but that's okay. Now, as far as the Saba of Italia goes, we should definitely widen this. I'm going to widen this out to 5. We're going to toss in a cohort of heavy cavalry, as well as... We actually can't put elephants into this. So we're just going to leave this at that for right now, and that puts this up to a cap of... What is the overall strength of this once this is maxed out? It's going to be 6,000? Okay. We'll put in a single supply train here, and a single unit of siege engineers. Okay. That'll be good for now. And we'll have them come on up over this way, and we'll drill. Rising from obscurity, huh? Democrats and oligarchs. I don't really care. Okay, well that actually got rid of the Civil War, so that's perfect. Very happy about that. What is the next province that is likely to rebel? That will be Celtica Minoris, which is this one over here. Okay. Now, they are on cultural assimilation. That is something that we will, of course, change. Although we did get 11% Punic there. Not bad. Let's go ahead and bring our ships over, and we're going to have these guys actually head to this port. It's roughly the same distance, but it's along our way. We're going to need an army commander here, and we're actually going to have to put it in from this interface. We will need a Badonid or Ahrimonid, and this guy is actually the most eligible. Fantastic. So that's great. And we're going to hop these guys onto their boats. And those boats are going to come down over this way and pick up this force once it eventually arrives. Oh yeah, we need to actually put this guy in charge there. There we go. Wonderful. We could lose 5 stability. I think we'll gain stability here. That one's just good. Excellent. So over we head. And that is wonderful. There are pirates over here. But yes, we're not surprised by this. We knew that this was coming, and we are already making our way over to be able to deal with this. So as soon as we get in here, we'll embark this army again, and we're waiting on these guys to move 1 additional province. Once they get there, we'll embark them, and off we head. So it's just the area inside here, actually. This is pretty ideal for us. Now, this is a levy. We'd prefer to not stack wipe a levy if at all possible. That said, our professional force is becoming pretty powerful. So I'm pretty happy about that. Somebody was killed in a freak accident. Okay, that's unfortunate for them. And we will be arriving over here long before they finish this siege. So that is great. We'll have a few more disloyal provinces, of course. Yeah, they don't want anything to do with this. We're going to head up directly to their capital, although I'm not going to do that with our larger army, but rather with our smaller army. Reason being, attrition. Attrition is percentage-based. Okay, we stack wiped that. That's not necessarily ideal, but it's fine, I guess. So as far as our Saba of Africa goes, supply limits over here are pretty garbage. We may actually want to drop them off over here, where the supply limits are slightly better for them. We're going to definitely have some supply limit issues for the time being until our military tech advances a bit. But that's okay. Okay, so we're going to hop these guys aboard, and I'm just wondering what the actual supply limit over here is. Let's see here. Can we select these guys and just see? Yeah, 58, 31, 30. I mean, we could split this into subunits. Might not be the worst idea. So we're just going to take this right down over here, and then we'll split it into subunits, and we'll just let the army of Italia deal with this. 85% oratory advances progress. How much? Wait, is that... Do we gain that from where we are right now, or is that overall? Let's take a quick look here. Oratory, we're already pretty far. So we would then lose 35% research points for 120 months, 10 years. These guys would gain corruption. That is a lot of advances, but I think overall... Let's see, we're making 0.71 per month. Let's do some math here. Let's pull up a calculator. So 0.71 per month. Need to multiply that by 120 months. So that is overall 85.2 progress. So that is roughly the same amount of progress as we would instantly gain. But we need to reduce that by 35%. So what is 35% of that? So that would be times 0.65. So we would actually end up losing out on a fair amount of research points in the long run here. I'm not surprised by this. This is about what I expected. We're not going to squander our resources on that. Yes, that would give us an instant oratory advance, but at what cost? That cost is 30% of another oratory advance over 10 years. And that is not something that I'm willing to do. Excellent. So the siege should finish up pretty soon. And of course, we're going to be hopping over here, and we'll just pop a few troops over here. and we'll drill both of them. Because of supply limits, we probably want this army split up anyway, in all honesty. So let's just split it in half for now, and these guys will head on over. We don't have a commander here, and we should probably put another one in for the Saba of Africa. And of course, we would like to have a Badonid or Ahrimonid, but this guy, he's the most qualified. Okay, so we'll put him in here, and we will begin drilling. As soon as these guys arrive over here, this is actually not a good location for them. They can stand over in this city instead. Excellent. So once they get there, they will begin drilling as well. And of course, these guys are going to operate as a single unit. We're just spreading them out right now for attrition purposes. So we'll go ahead and drill them here where they will not gain any attrition. Fantastic. And as soon as this fort falls, we'll go after their primary army. In fact, there it goes. And we'll chase them. That'll catch them, and absolutely no problem here. There's another army back behind them. Okay, we captured an enemy there. And we'll put that army down as well. And we'll just head over here. We don't need to cap this back, but may as well. We can also put in... I would really like to put in a Badonid or an Ahrimonid. This guy's actually not terrible. And maybe he won't be scorned now. They're still scorned. Okay, whatever. And now there's a civil war threshold, but that will change when our tyranny does. That's a lot of gold. And it's because of war exhaustion, presumably. We'll let him handle it. Okay. We can now complete our farms mission. That's great. And we should also sue for peace here. Absolutely. There we go. And we'll banish those of class and put the rest to the sword. And then this province over here will, of course, go to religious conversion. Fantastic. These guys can head on down over here, and I'm going to take our navy up this way, and we'll just move them over so that they're in the same rough area. We do know that Makuria is going to rebel fairly soon, so we probably want to relocate up there. Okay, that'll be just fine. No worries about any of that. I'm noticing that is Celtica. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking that that was I was thinking that that was uncolonized, and I was like, what happened? But no, it's fine. Exactly as expected. So our war exhaustion is coming down nicely. I'm very happy to see that. Do we think that we need additional troops up here? We may want them. Campania is also going to rebel. That's in that same region. So I think that'll be okay. I'm reasonably okay with that. Excellent. We should probably look at additional missions that have now been unlocked by finishing up this. Growth of Vaga is definitely something that is happening, although did we actually not make that into... I believe we have not made this into the capital yet. So we want to make this the provincial capital. Not our capital, but the provincial capital. There. Growth of Vaga has finished. And of course, we're working on trade. That is something that we are doing. As far as this goes, Granary of Africa. So Uzapa needs to be a city with at least 2 granary buildings. Okay. Well, we can found a city. That'll be fine. We can certainly do that. 3 stability or a ton of gold. We're going to take all that gold. This guy was caught red-handed. Okay, sure. Now, who is currently the most disloyal person here? Sakulia. Or no, that's provinces. The current character. Daniel Barca. Okay, so that's this guy here. We can bribe him, and he'll gain 15 loyalty. Now, that's not a ton of loyalty. We could give him a regional cognomen. And I think that's something I'm okay with, because that makes him sufficiently loyal. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to have these guys stop drilling, and I am going to have them build a road up the coast. I want them to finish this road. Excellent. And then these guys, they're going to come in here and pick up this force instead. Are these guys still attached? Yes. Yes, they are. Okay, just checking. Fantastic. We're going to embark these, and these are, of course, going to head up over this way to be able to respond to potential rebellions up there that are brewing. Wonderful. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue working on these missions. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.